Giants and A's are very neighbors who've been meeting during the regular season since 1997.
And along the way, both teams have provided memorable moments to the delight of their faithful.
Burns leaps and what a catch!
And Matt Cain has a one-hitter.
No matter the setting, no matter the time of the year when these two teams meet, the area bragging rights are on the line.
Bonds hits one high! It's a dig! It's a walk-off!
The rivalry continues. Giants and A's coming up next.
The road trip continues, and tonight it continues here in Oakland. We're at the Coliseum as we get ready for Giants baseball. Giants-A's, game one of this three-game series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, the Giants dropped 2 out of 3 in San Diego. 2 really tough losses back-to-back. But now's a good time to get re-energized. You got the A's for 3 games, and a good time now for Mike Leake to take that step forward.
Well, this is an opportunity, and if you take on an assignment as a Giants pitcher, you know that certain starts are different, and the start against the Dodgers is different. The start against the Cardinals, it's different, and the start against the A's is different. You know that because you know how much it means to your fan base, and this is an opportunity definitely for Mike Leake to put a feather in his cap.
Should be interesting tonight. You got Parker in center. In right field, you got Mac Williamson. Tell me about Mac Williamson.
Well, Mac Williamson, a high draft pick who had to really go through a rough injury in his journey to get to the big leagues. This is his first big league start, and he's pumped up. And if batting practice means anything, he's going to have a big night.
All right. Should be fun here tonight in Oakland. Game 1 on a Friday night. All right, stay tuned. When we come back, we will have the lineups. Remember, it's a DH game and the first pitch right after this.
Is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the new spicy nacho chicken sandwich munchie meal tonight, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota. the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Back here in Oakland as we get ready for Giants baseball, game 1 of this weekend 3-game series. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. Very comfortable 70, winds are calm. Humidity at 66%.
Here they come.
Yeah, partly cloudy.
2015 Oakland Athletics.
Let's take a look at the lineup for the Giants. It'll be Diaz, Tomlinson, and Matt Duffy. See Duffy against the A's. Had a good series in San Francisco. Followed by Posey, Crawford, and Bird. Bird will be the DH. Parker and Williamson, a couple of guys up from the minor leagues. And then Trevor Brown, he will hit 9.
On the hill tonight for the Athletics will be Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray, the 25-year-old, 5'11", 180-pound right-hander, making start number 31. He's 13-7 on the year, an outstanding ERA of 2.72, 162 strikeouts in 202 innings. He has been an innings eater, just 161 hits allowed. How's he do it? You're going to see a low 90s fastball. He will cut, he will sink. He's got a great curveball slider combination, both very good breaking balls, strikeout types, and a changeup. The high 3/4 release, so that you can expect that the curveball is a straight downer. It's a 12-6 break. Lifetime against the Giants, he's only had one start against them, and that was back in July of last year. The A's won that ball game 6-1. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Sonny Gray tonight. Starting in the A's outfield from left to right, it'll be Fold, Burns, and Reddick, the best arm in right field with Reddick. Semien and Valencia on the left side of the infield. Sogard and Kana on the right side. Stephen Vogt, he'll be in the squat, putting down the signs. So Kana, Sogard right side, Semien and Valencia left side.
Spanish audio for this game is available through your SAP button, and it's presented by Jack Daniels. So here we go. Is Alejandro Diaz steps up to the plate as we're ready for the Giants and the A's here in Oakland. So Diaz is in the box. At third is Valencia as he shortens up to prevent the bunt, and the first pitch is a called strike. So we get started just a shade late. And Diaz takes high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Tomlinson, Duffy. Giants lost the last 2 games in San Diego. They're 35-43 on the road as Gray's next pitch is down low. They have, however, played pretty well against the American League. They're 11-6. So here it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And Diaz pulls it on the ground. Foul. A lot of foul territory here. It's been that way since the stadium opened up. Pitchers love it. Hitters hate it. It's just not going to change.
It is the one thing that you're right. Pitchers love. I mean, those are souvenirs in other ballparks. Certainly at AT&T here, they're outs.
And a breaking ball in the dirt. It's 3-2. '31st start for Sonny Gray. And the payoff pitch. Here it is to Diaz, and he takes high, ball 4. So this game starts with a walk. And that'll bring up Tomlinson.
That's a gift. You don't expect that from Sonny Gray. He's normally got
Batting in the second
really
position,
good command.
second baseman, number 37, Kelby Tomlinson.
So here's Kelby Tomlinson, who's at 278. He's got a home run, which just happened to be a grand slam, and he's got 15 runs batted in. And he hits a high pop-up, and again, the foul territory. Everything's an adventure. Is Canna's over, and he bounces up against that sidewall.
Well, Canna knows. I mean, you're a corner infielder or a corner outfielder here. You don't give up on a ball hit down the line or in foul territory.
So a quick 0-1 to Kelby Tomlinson. And a bouncing ball and a nice play by Canna. That's one. Not in time.
That's one the A's are going to take a look at. But what a nice play from Canna. That ball got on him quick. That was a good at bat. I mean, Thomason going hard, taking the location away to right. Canna barely had time to get the arm up and extended. No contest here. And I think he did beat it out. So the speed of Tomlinson denies the double play.
So here's Duffy. Duffy at 299. Came back and had a nice strong game yesterday. Tomlinson with 5 steals. He's been thrown out 3 times. Buster Posey to follow. Just underway here in Oakland on a very comfortable Friday night. So Duffy steps out.
Adrian Johnson, the plate umpire, he's a low ball umpire. Normally he starts off with a tight zone, and it will loosen up as the day goes on, but he likes the low pitch. I don't think strikes are going to be an issue tonight with Sonny Gray and Mike Leake.
No. Big gap between Canna and Sogard. And Duffy, it's a high drive left center field. It is out of here. And the Giants lead 2-0. Duffy with home run number 11, and that was a big boy.
Oh. Set the target right in the middle of the plate, and that's exactly where the ball was. And Duffy just absolutely barrels it. And when you hit it up there where they have the camera in center field, you've hit a big home run.
So here's Posey hitting .321, and he takes a strike. Buster chops this one to Simeon. He'll take his time, and Posey's retired. 2 outs, and it'll be Brandon Crawford.
Batting in the 5th position, shortstop, number 35, Brandon Crawford.
Crawford hit the home run last night to give him 20 on the season. This is wrapped into center field, but getting there in plenty of time is Burns, and that's going to end the inning. So the Giants
On the board on the 11th home run of the season by Matt Duffy, and it's bye-bye baby, and it's 2-0 Giants. Here's a lineup that'll be facing Mike Leake. It'll be Burns, Canna, and then Reddick. Valencia will be the cleanup hitter. Stephen Vogt back behind the dish after being out for a while. Then Butler, the DH, and he's got good numbers against the National League. Sogard, Simeon, and Full will round out the lineup.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be Mike Leake, the right-hander. They can start number 29 of the year. He split the year with the Reds and the Giants. 10-9 on the season, 3.81 ERA. And with Mike Leake, you're going to get a fastball that is 90-ish. He will sink and cut it. And he has a curveball, slider, and a changeup. When he's right, you're going to see a lot of ground balls. And lifetime against the Athletics, he's only faced him one time. And in that game, he pitched well. Just one run allowed in 6 innings. He got a no decision.
So a bit outside, called by Adrian Johnson. Miller, Wolf, and Hoberg from first to third. Those are your umpires tonight. Burns hitting .297, 4 home runs. And he bounces this one to Tomlinson. So Burns is retired.
Now let's check out the defense that the Giants will have tonight behind Mike Leake. Starting in the outfield from left to right will be Deaza, Parker, and Williamson. And pretty good arms across the board. Crawford and Duffy on the left side of the infield. Tomlinson and Posey on the right side. Trevor Brown, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs. A major league debut for Mac Williamson in right field. This is his first start.
So here's Canna. Swing and a miss.
Williamson had an at-bat in a pinch hit role in the San Diego series, but this is his first start. Bruce Bochy said he's going to give this guy a chance to play a little bit. They're going to see what he can do.
Canna pops it up. Duffy racing down from third, and he's going to, at the last second, I think he was calling all the way, and at the last second, Brown finally heard him, and then he backed off. What you have to do with all the foul territory here, you're going to get a lot of guys that are going to come together.
Well, this had some hang time too. That ball was up in the air. Always easier for a player with a regular glove to catch a pop-up. And Duffy, the logical man to take it, does indeed take it.
So here's Reddick. Reddick takes a strike, hitting .273, 20 home runs. He had a good year, 75 driven in. And you can see how quickly Leake is working. He had a disastrous first inning in his last start. But here, working quickly. And it's really up to, and it's hard, I know, for Trevor Brown, but it's up to Brown to get that sign as quickly as he can to lead.
And it will be a challenge for Brown, because when he knows that pitcher likes to work quick, he has to keep that rhythm going by giving him the sign that he wants.
And that's off of Reddick. It's 1-2.
I want to ask you a question. You were a former second baseman. I'm looking out the field right now, and you can see the football field that the Raiders play with. Goes right across the infield, and we had that same similar situation in Candlestick with the Niners when we were playing with the Giants. Did that always bother you in September?
You know, it only bothered me if they messed with the dirt. And it only bothered me if you had to play the infield in on the grass, because then you could see the tricky hops. But by the time it gets to you, if you're playing deep on the dirt, you should be okay. I know one thing, the infield is very hard in front of home plate. And that'll end the inning. Nice inning for Leake. It's called a shutdown inning.
To you by Bay Area Mini.
Giants with a 2-0 lead as Marlon Bird's going to lead things off. Bird, Parker, and Williamson facing Sonny Gray. And a strike to Bird. .250 for Marlon Bird. 22 home runs. 68 driven in. And it's now 0-2.
It's a good breaking ball right there. Sonny Gray, he's not going to blow you away with a lot of velocity, but he will impress you with command, and then if he gets some breaking balls going, good luck, because they are the backbone of why he strikes out so many guys.
1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He got it.
Got him on a slider. Well, all you bobblehead collectors, join us for one of 3 fan appreciation bobblehead prize pack giveaways. Each pack will contain 1 bobblehead and 1 additional Giants mystery item. And a reminder, to get the bobblehead prize pack, you need to purchase the special event ticket to one of the 3 days. Go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Here's Parker. Parker 6 for 19 in the big leagues. 2 of those 6 hits have left the park. Actually, he had another one that left the park that A.J. Pollock brought back into the park. And a breaking ball for a strike. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. with Mac Williamson to follow. And the pitch is high. Strike. 1-2. And he got him. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, gentlemen, fair to say Trevor Brown has been fantastic since getting called up, especially considering he's never participated in a big league spring training, which means over the past week he's caught most of the Giants staff for the very first time. He did, however, get time with Jake Peavy down in AAA Sacramento when Peavy was rehabbing, and he said Peavy's been huge, giving him the Peavy pep talk each day. Romo going on to say Trevor is very secure in his skill set, which gives everyone instant confidence in him.
Here's Mac Williamson. All right, good stuff, Amy. And Williamson takes high, 1-0. 0 for 1. Had the one at bat against Kimbrel.
Yeah, that's a rough first at bat in the big leagues, especially with how much it meant in the game. I mean, it's not that it gets any better with a guy who has the stuff and the command like a Sonny Gray, but at least you have 4 chances at a guy. 4 at bats in a game, maybe more.
So 2 balls and 1 strike. Fastball strike, 2-2.
Williamson's a big guy, 6'4", 240 pounds, and there's not a lot of fat on him. Lives in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, out of Wake Forest University.
Or, what do you like to say? He's a big fellow.
He's a big fella.
Gray strikes out the side. Bottom of the second coming up.
What was behind the plate? I don't pay attention to the umpires. I didn't realize he was up there. That's our Geico quote.
So here's Valencia.
He could have fooled us.
He might pass a lie detector test. Valencia with the count of 1 ball and 1 strike, and he taps this one off his foot foul.
We apologize for the only view of the game that you're seeing. We're having a bit of a problem in the truck. We'll get that resolved quickly.
Valencia hitting .291. Done a good job since he put on an A's uniform. And he shoots this one fair down the right field line. That'll shoot right through the bullpen. Williamson picks it up, and that's a double for Valencia. First hit of the game for the A's. And that'll bring up Stephen Vogt.
The catcher, number 21, Stephen Vogt.
So here's Vogt. And Vogt takes inside for a ball. 0 for his last 14. 0 for 7 in the series against Texas. He started the last 2 games, one at first, one as a designated hitter. Here's the pitch to Vogt.
Batting in the 6th position, the designated hitter, number 16, Billy Butler. Batting in the 7th position, second baseman, number 28, Eric.
The one thing about Mike Leake, however, is that he can get the ground ball to get the double play.
So here's Sogard. Sogard hitting at 248. And he takes a strike. Valencia at third, Butler at first. The pitch. So we're going to foul. So it's now 0-2 to Sogard. One home run for Sogard. He's got 30 driven in. On the ground, they will not get to double play. So Sogard beats it out. Coming in to score is Valencia. It's 2-1.
Just too much foot speed from Sogard. Ball not hit sharp enough. So Sogard winds up having a good productive at bat to get that run in.
Batting in the 8th position, the shortstop, number 10, Marcus Semien.
See, as soon as this ball left the bat, it was going to be a tough turn just because of the speed of Sogard.
So here's Semien. Semien fouls it back. 2-1. A's pick up a run here off a leak in the second. There's a leadoff double by Danny Valencia that put him in scoring position. So we're going to foul right through the Giants bullpen, and it's now 0-2. It's been a pretty good year for Semien. The only downside is he had a lot of errors, and most of them came early. He's made 34. One ball and 2 strikes. And that's pulled foul.
A little hang time on that slider. Sliders could be inconsistent this time of year.
Way outside. Nice play by Brown. 2-2. And a quick toss. Sogard with 6 steals. He's 6 out of 7 in that department. Outfield straight away. Leak. Sogard goes. He got a great jump. It's fouled out of play. It looked like he left before Leak even went to home.
Well, Leak usually is pretty good at holding runners on. You get into a 2-out situation, get 2 strikes on a hitter, all of a sudden your concentration is to the pitch, and you do not pay attention to the runner like you should. And Sogard, to his credit, taking advantage of it.
So Leake ready. A run in. Sogard at first. He goes again. And it's strike 3 called, and that's going to end the inning. A's on the board. We'll head to the third. It's 2-1 Giants.
Solar Company. Not just any solar company. The solar company. Switch to solar and save.
The NBC Bay Area Investigative Unit. It's the largest on-air team of investigative journalists dedicated to holding the powerful accountable. You can watch award-winning stories that have helped make the Bay Area a better place at nbcbayarea.com/investigations. Brown takes a strike. 2-1 Giants. Brown is 2 for 13 since he was called up, and this is more work for Simeon, who throws him out. Bringing Diaz to the plate, who drew a walk to open up the ball game.
Now batting, number 45, Alejandro Diaz.
So Diaz steps up, facing Sonny Gray for the second time, and gets jammed and rolls this one to Sogard. 2 outs. And here's Tomlinson.
2 quick outs. Sonny Gray trying to do what Mike Leake did. Mike Leake did at the bottom of the first. Leake had a shutdown inning after the Giants scored 2 in the top of the first. Gray trying to shut it down here after the A's scored in the second.
Tomlinson reached on a fielder's choice, hit a ball very hard that Canna at first made a great play on. Canna made the force play at second. Tomlinson was on when Duffy hit the home run. Down low.
It's a good low target from Stephen Vogt. Breaking ball guys like Gray, who have 2 good kill pitches, the curveball and the slider, they like a guy who gives a low target. And that's a low target.
Both catchers in this game made their respective all-star teams. Posey's at first. And a belt tie strike. It's 2-2.
It's nice too for a catcher with nobody on base. I mean, you can really get down low in your target. Don't have to worry about blocking balls. And preventing guys from advancing on balls in the dirt.
Out of play.
That was a hanger. So who's got the better glasses, Tomlinson or Sogard?
Haven't decided yet. I need a few more innings. Gray's got it. 3 ground balls here in the third. Leak coming back out.
Is brought to you by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
2-1 Giants here in the bottom of the third inning. Some Giants fans here, young fans, good fans. There's a call strike to Sam Fold. Fold at 198, a couple of home runs, 21 driven in. Terrific defender, kind of a pest.
He will bunt. Giants taking it away. Matt Duffy in on the grounds at third base. And Mike Leake very good at defending against bunts. Fields his position well.
And a base hit.
Right, another example of just how hard it is out in front of home plate. That's like cement. But by bringing in Duffy to respect the bunt, he hits that high bounce right over his head.
Dave Fleming will be back tomorrow. John Miller will be in here in the middle 3 innings. I'll see you back here in the 7th.
That's a big kahuna. He's getting all tidied up.
Here's Burns, who bounced out. Burns is 0 for 1. Drive to right. Williamson back. Gone. Home run number 5 on the year for Billy Burns. And the A's take the lead.
Take a look at the pitch. They set a target on the outside corner. He pulls it middle in above the knee. And Burns says, that's where I like him. Just over the scoreboard, and that is a 4-bagger.
So here's Mark Canha, who's 0 for 1. Canha popped out to Duffy in the first inning. He's going to pop out to Duffy again.
Well, the Willie Mack Award is an annual honor bestowed upon the most inspirational player on the team. It's voted upon by the Giants players, coaches, training staff, and Giants fans. This year's award will be presented on Friday, October 2nd, prior to the Giants-Rockies game. So get there early, as past Willie Mack Award winners will be on hand as Willie announces this season's honoree. Tickets, go to sfgiants.com.
Reddick takes a strike. Reddick takes another strike.
Reddick is streaky.
Reddick swings, and that's another strike.
All right, time now for our McDonald's True Stories. On this date last year, the Giants beat the Padres 9-8, and they celebrated clinching the second wild card spot. And oh, how important that was to our hero Woo.
So here's Valencia. Valencia doubled in the second. So there were what? 4 celebrations.
Yeah. So as far as celebrating is concerned, the Giants got their money's worth last year.
They did. Wild card celebration.
NLDS, NLCS, World Series. And then on into the winter.
And they have a no-hitter celebration too.
There was a no-hitter celebration.
At the end of the All-Star break celebration.
Yeah, that was a good one, if I recall right.
Your birthday? Well, no, your birthday's in the wintertime.
January. We celebrated that. Hey, life's for celebrating.
In the dirt. Yeah, this was the big celebration right here.
Pop up, Pablo Sandoval, and that was the final pitch of the out of the 2014 season. That was a celebration.
That was a celebration. By the time Sandoval caught that ball, when the Giants got home, they went very quickly. John Miller will be in. A's take the lead. I'll see you back here in the 7th.
better California.
3-2 Athletics. We're going to the top of the fourth inning, and here to tell you all about it, John Miller.
So Matt Duffy, who hit a long home run, the StatCast pegged it at 431 feet back in the first inning to give the Giants a 2-0 lead. His first at bat since then. No Giant has reached base since then.
It's a big boy swinging the bat, though.
Very impressive. And Sonny Gray gets a strike.
You know, some nights you just guess right every time you're up there against a guy. It doesn't make a difference who it is.
And a called strike.
2 fastballs. I think he's up there looking for a breaking ball and didn't get it. I always take close attention to the at bat that a guy has after he hits a home run off a guy.
And a foul out of play off to the right.
Because a guy like Sonny Gray, who can strike people out, he's got 162 strikeouts coming into this game in 200 innings. I mean, he's young. Guy, he takes him deep. He wants to strike him out his next at bat. Ooh.
Still 1-2.
Just missed that one. Here's that swing of the bat in the first inning. And it jumped out of here. Big sound up there on the little platform that the cameras had are out center field, 431 feet away, as John said. No doubt about her.
Left his bat at 105 miles an hour. On the right field line, Josh Reddick coming in quickly now. So Duffy is gone. That's 9 in a row. Retired by Sonny Gray.
Now batting, number 28, Buster Posey.
A couple of catchers exchanging pleasantries. Both on the All-Star team this year.
Buster grounded it short his first time. Out of play. And it's 0-1. Three to 2. Oakland is leading. Just off the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buster had an 0 for 5 last night in San Diego. And he's got a little 0 for going here. 0 for his last 10. That's a foul ball. Buster has not had a hit on this road trip.
Well, when he's hot, you don't see him reach. And I think it has a lot to do with fatigue. And last swing that he just had, there was reach in that. We saw a lot of those in the San Diego series.
A bloop and in there, base hit. Picked up at the 10-yard line by Josh Reddick.
All right, time now for our Togo's big play the Togo's way. Last night, Brandon Crawford stepped up against Ian Kennedy. First pitch he saw of the night, and he proceeded to spank it over the wall in center field. His 20th home run of the season, and he became the 6th Giant shortstop all time to hit 20 or more home runs. Well, to hit 20 home runs. That's pretty good. We were all kind of rooting for that. He was hanging on 19 for a long time.
August the 6th until last night. A little over a month and a half. And this could be 2. There's 1. And Simeon doubles him up. Sonny Gray has settled in very nicely for the Athletics. It is 3-2 Oakland.
just what he has meant to San Francisco. 100% participation from your San Francisco Giants, wearing bald caps and white polos, which is apparently Tim Hudson's road uniform, the real uniform. It was a great planned event by the entire team. A surprise, though, for Tim, gentlemen. Javier Lopez told me today that they wanted to come up with a way not only to recognize Tim's amazing career, but what he's been like as a teammate, described as selfless. Gentlemen.
Well, it was a lot of fun. And as you saw, his teammates were all into it. And when we saw that photo, I happened to notice, didn't it look like Madison Bumgarner put on about 40 pounds? Bumgarner went a little bit further than everybody else did. He and Hudson have become the best of friends. And the Bumgarners stayed with the Hudsons in October last year when the Giants were in town during the postseason. But it looked like Bumgarner had figured out a way to, maybe from Hollywood, some special effects, to put on about 40 pounds, at least from that picture we just saw on the plane from last night, as Brandon Crawford grabs it, and Stephen Vogt is now 0 for 2 in the game. Mike Leake touched up for a 2-run homer from Billy Burns in the 3rd inning. And he and the Giants are trailing now. Now, you can't see Bumgarner there because he's in the background, but there's another shot. You see him sitting at his seat where it looked like he put on quite a bit of weight.
Well, it's rare you see one without the other. And Tim Hudson's not a tall pitcher. I mean, he's just barely 6 feet tall, and you stand next to Bumgarner, who's 6'5", 250. He looks like his little brother.
But they became very close, and they had a lot of fun in that October. It was the first, of course, October run for Tim Hudson and for Bumgarner. Business as usual. His 3rd outstanding October and 3rd outstanding World Series of his young career. And he was giving Hudson some grief. Hudson said, so you don't feel any problem with going all these innings in October? And he said, no. I wish I could pitch more. And he says, well, in the old days, guys used to pitch every 4th. I'd like to do that. So I'd like to pitch 350 innings next year, he told me.
Well, he doesn't like the pitch count. You get him talking about the 100 pitch level where most guys get taken out of a ball game now or close around there. And he gets hot. He wants the ball, and he didn't want to come out. He is a throwback.
And he and Joe West, almost like little OK Corral action there. Joe West stood away from home plate and stared out at Bumgarner, and then the stare-off began. There's a ball to second. Tomlinson throws out Billy Butler. 2 down.
And that went on for a while. Buster's going, Joe, come on, Joe. Hey, Joe. Joe, wake up, Joe. Joe, come on, Joe.
Now batting second baseman, number 28.
We talked to Eddie Montague today, who is really one of the best umpires we ever saw when we were players. And Eddie lives in the Bay Area, still involved with rating umpires and educating umpires. And he watched it. He called it 2 North Carolina mules going at each other.
Sogard, who's not going to run with a ground out, takes ball 1. I love, they asked Bumgarner about it after the game. Sogard hits one deep into right field. And just beyond Mac Williamson. Nobody was there to play the carom, and it's a triple for Sogard.
Well, Mike Leake's got to feel fortunate this ball didn't get pumped out of here. I thought off the crack of the bat it was gone. It's about halfway up the wall, and then once it hits the wall, Mac Williamson had committed to the catch. Carom's off, and Parker has to come over and get it. But Sogard gets this one.
Third triple of the year for Sogard. They've hit some balls very hard against Leak in the last 2-3 innings. That ball, according to the StatCast, went 356 feet off the right field wall. So here is Marcus Semien, who struck out looking his first time. But when they asked Bumgarner about the whole thing with Joe West, he says he really doesn't even pay attention to who the umpire is.
Yeah,
he's just the umpire.
How do you know who that was? Okay.
That's a called strike. So 3-1 now to Semien. Semien, his first game in an Oakland uniform was a Cactus League game in Mesa back in March. And he had a couple of home runs against the Giants that day. That's a foul ball. And it's a count of 3-2. And then he hit another home run. He didn't hit any home runs the rest of the spring, and hit another home run against the Giants over at AT&T Park in the spring training Bay Bridge series. Semien, who's from the East Bay, also went to Cal. He was acquired from the Chicago White Sox in the offseason. Curveball popped up, foul, and out of play. Semien's hit 13 regular season home runs. He's also made an extraordinary number of errors, 34 errors, mostly as a shortstop. They rehired Ron Washington to come back, and one of the reasons they brought Wash back, he's a great teacher to help him work with Marcus Semien. And that's a walk. So 2 down. Sogard hit the triple, and now Semien has walked. And here comes Sam Fuld.
A lot of speed on the bases with Sogard and Semien, and Fuld exceptional speed. And not many guys you'd even think would be bunting in a first and third 2-out situation, but Fuld will do that.
Semien has 11 steals, been caught 4 times. Off the foot. Ouch. Strike one.
Guys with speed just love doing that. Hitting the ball off their feet.
1 strike to count.
Well, you know what? Actually, it hit the shin guard. That's the first time we've seen that happen all year, where one of those pads actually worked.
And theoretically it worked, except it still looked like it was very painful for him. Semien back to the bag at first. That's Ty Waller, the first base coach for the Athletics. Over to whisper something to him. Buster Posey on the bag with him. 3-2. Oakland ahead with 2 down. Buster Posey covers up, and the inning is over. 3-2 Oakland. Madison Bumgarner, who didn't even know who that guy on the left was, as they stared and stared and stared last night. See him. A lot of Giants fans over here. There's even a Dodger fan in the middle of all of that.
What is he doing here? He should be in Colorado.
Dodgers trailing 7-4, 8th inning in Denver, as Marlon Byrd takes ball one. Byrd struck out his first time. Jarrett Parker and Mac Williamson will follow, the two rookies, right after Byrd here against Sonny Gray. And the foul ball, 1 ball and 1 strike.
There was lots of carry at this ballpark early, and there's not quite as much now. Doesn't mean it won't jump out of here, but it's not quite as live as it was at the start of this game.
And that's out of play into the second deck. A ball and 2 strikes to Marlon Byrd. Tomorrow, Tim Hudson and Barry Zito, former teammates, both of whom came up with Oakland and later in their careers pitched for the Giants, both of whom have World Series rings as Giants. They're going to face each other tomorrow here. Valencia, and he gets Marlon Byrd. So there is one away. Here's our AT&T U-verse rewind. Tim Hudson came up with the A's in 1999, and he was a big winner almost instantaneously. Barry Zito came in the next year, and they had quite a pitching staff in those days. Then Zito went to the Giants. 2010 and 2012 he got World Series rings. Tim Hudson last year got a World Series ring for the Giants. Tim Hudson said that one of the reasons he decided he really wanted to go to the Giants was because of that opportunity. He thought they were a club that could win it all, something he had never done. He had never actually been with a team that had won a postseason series.
He was so much fun to watch last year when the Giants were going through their run, and when they finally got a chance to plant the flag, the reaction from Tim Hudson was, it was the type of reaction you get from a rookie seeing it for the first time.
And even this year, going to the White House, he savored every moment of that. Team that wins the World Series goes to the White House to meet the president. And he'd never been through that. He just was savoring the whole experience, everything last October and everything surrounding the whole experience. As Jarrett Parker fouls one. Parker struck out his first time. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on here in the 5th inning. Of course, the Giants, literally, you could say in 2012, the Giants couldn't have done it without him, without Barry Zito. He pitched game 1 of the World Series and beat Justin Verlander. And, of course, he pitched and won that critical game 5 in the league championship series in St. Louis. A must-win game for the Giants.
Yeah, Giants down the series 3-1, and he had the bases loaded, nobody out in the bottom of the 1st. He got out of it, and he would pitch into the 8th inning. He was brilliant.
So they'll go head-to-head here tomorrow at the Coliseum, where it all started for them both, Hudson and Zito. Along the left field line, foul.
You know, the other thing too that's remarkable about the way that those two have been able to play for such a long period of time, and for pitchers, it's just unusual to see guys go 14 years and 17 years. They really did something quite unusual. I mean, those are long careers for pitchers. A lot of innings, a lot of pitches.
2-2. Strike 3 called, and Parker's just stunned about a pitch that high being called a strike.
Well, it's not like it hasn't been called tonight. I mean, we've seen some belt highs and even above the belts called. Haven't been many of them, and they've always been fastballs. And by rule book definition, that's right there.
Now, they don't have the pitch FX in the minor leagues. And a lot of the hitters who come up from the minors are kind of stunned to find out pitches that are being called here that weren't often called strikes in the minor leagues. But most of that is about that low strike that gets called in the major leagues that almost uniformly is not called in the minor leagues. 2 down, nobody on. Williamson struck out his first time.
Still looking for his first big league hit.
Stephen Vogt out to the mound to talk to Sonny Gray. Vogt won the Catfish Hunter Award tonight, which is the A's version of the Willie Mack Award, which will be presented next Friday at AT&T Park. If you're coming next Friday, by the way, kind of get there early because the ceremony is always great, and there'll be a lot of the former winners of the Willie Mack Award who will be there. And that's the first hit for Mac Williamson, and that was a bullet. A shot right over the infield into left field.
Yeah, I'd like to know the velocity of the ball coming off that bat speed. That was a loud swing of the bat. Well, you get a first big league knock. We're going to make it our Ford right choice, and why not? This is exactly how you dream it. Clean bullets, line drive. I mean, ideally, you want to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but hey, no argument about this one. This is a pearl.
Trevor Brown, and it's back out of play. Brown grounded out to short his first time. That ball, according to StatCast, Mike.
Yes.
On the MLB at bat app, Mac Williamson singled on a line drive to the left fielder. Ball exit speed 113 miles per hour.
I believe it. I believe it.
Man, that's in the upper reaches. That's some big league bat speed right there.
But you know what? You would expect a guy who's picked in the 3rd round, like he was in 2012, to have that type of bat speed. The guy's 6'4", 230. Should hit it like that.
The curveball is too low. And this is a comeback year for him because he had the Tommy John elbow reconstruction surgery early last year that put him on the shelf. But we've seen tonight, he's throwing the ball really well right now.
Oh, he's got a cannon. He's got one of the strongest arms in the organization. Maybe the strongest.
Well, it's 3-1 now to Trevor Brown with Alejandro De Asa, a left-handed hitter, on deck. There's De Asa.
Pow.
Brown, who hit a long one in San Diego for his first major league hit the other night against Tyson Ross. Williamson running, and there's ball 4. Tyson Ross the other night looked like he had no hit stuff going, and then Trevor Brown clubbed one to straightaway center field that one hopped the wall out there to knock in the first run of the game for the Giants that night. So 2 men off of the Giants here, and De Asa will try and knock in a run. Vogt, having chatted with Gray, comes back behind the plate again. De Asa, who's only had 10 at-bats with a runner in scoring position, 2 hits in those situations. And that one was right in toward his feet. Jumps out of the way. Ball 1. Almost hit him. But a base hit here could tie the game. You got a fast runner at second, Williamson, who's just, you were talking about Williamson, Mike. He really is just an excellent all-round athlete.
He's got some tools.
Trevor Brown is at first, ready to run, both ready to run with a crack of the bat with 2 down. That's a called strike. Pitch number 67 thrown by Sonny Gray. Giants have only 3 hits against him. And he has picked up 4 strikeouts for the game. That is An accidental foul ball. It inadvertently glanced off the bat for a foul ball.
It's so upsetting for a hitter. Check a swing and have the bat just sort of lag behind and the ball clip it. They don't like losing a strike where they're not getting a swing at it. And it puts him in a 1-2 hole against a guy who's got strikeout stuff.
Would have been 2-1. That ball was off the inside. But now he's behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out. In the dirt.
And that's the one that's so hard to lay off of. I mean, Gray's got 2 types of downward bite breaking balls. The curveball, which is a 12-6 break because of that high 3/4 release, and the slider is a straight downer. I mean, his break on that is very close to that of a break on a split. Downward snap.
2-2. And that is a swing. Pitch way up out of the strike zone, and DeAsa could not check the swing. Still 3-2 Oakland. Top of the order coming up.
Your special event package will include a collector's edition Together We're Champions t-shirt and a ticket to the game against the Dodgers. To get the t-shirt, you need to get the ticket. So go to tickets and go to sfgiants.com/special events. We'll see you there.
We're at the Coliseum in Oakland. The Athletics, after the Giants jumped ahead to a 2-0 lead in the first on Duffy's 2-run homer, have turned the game around. They lead 3-2, and Billy Burns, who hit a 2-run homer to give them the lead, pops a foul, and even with the vast amount of room in foul territory on that one, not enough room for Dubby to catch up to it.
Now here is that home run you're talking about. Just a total mislocation from Leake. They wanted it away. He missed it down and in. And Burns made him pay the ultimate price.
Headed down toward the tarp, and so much room in foul ground. That ball just wasn't hit high enough to give Duffy time to go chase it. That ball is hit well and over the head of Mac Williamson. So Burns is powering the ball big time tonight.
All right, watch live TV right now with the NBC Bay Area app. You see breaking news and investigations from NBC Bay Area News, plus your favorite NBC shows live and on demand. Simply download the NBC Bay Area app, select Watch Live TV now for the menu, register, and you are good to go.
Here's Mark Canha. Well, Billy Burns is a very good player, but he's doing something out of the ordinary for him tonight against Leake. And his ball 1 to Canha, who has fouled out to the third baseman and popped out in fair ground to the third baseman. He's 0 for 2. Josh Reddick is on deck. Mark Canha has hit 15 home runs this year. The former Cal star.
Pure strikeout situation here.
And that's in there for a called strike. And now Trevor Brown takes time out. He runs out to talk to Leake.
Yeah, he's going to say, you know, that slider you just threw, that was really a good pitch, but I wasn't looking for that. He crossed him up. So, regroup. And that little visit also allowed Yusmeiro Petit and Jeremy Affeldt to get up and get going.
So Leake already trailing 3-2 and has a runner at second with nobody out. 2-1 the count to Mark Canha. He was a Rule 5 draftee by the Rockies at the winter meetings in December, and then acquired by the Athletics in a trade the same day. Well, that's some good hitting right there, moving Burns over to third with 1 out now.
Well, and he'll get some big time pats on the back when he gets back to the A's dugout because of that effort. And with Burns moving over to third base with 1 out, it is still a strikeout situation.
Mark Canha hit .333 at Cal, 2 times an All Pac-10 selection. Canha is 26 years old, born in San Jose. Also went to Bellarmine Prep down in the South Bay. 1 ball and no strikes to Josh Reddick. The Giants have the infield in. Reddick has grounded a short and struck out there. You see how they're playing it. Already down 3-2. High pop-up. Burns has got great speed, so be careful on this one. There's the catch, and Burns is not going. And you saw the way Duffy did that. He was able to get under that, and he caught it squared up, so at no time did he ever turn his back on the infield.
And watch him bend at the waist to get in position to get a throw off. Not even the speed of Burns going to take on Duffy's arm from that distance. But that's just technique and done properly. It's hard at times to get your momentum coming into a play, especially when you're going back on a pop-up.
Danny Valencia. He was designated for assignment by the Blue Jays earlier in the summer. And Oakland jumped on him because he was having a good year for Toronto.
Mike Vick from the windup, and he didn't give Burns a look before he started his motion. He doesn't do it again. Burns crashed down the third base line. I mean, we saw a balk on it last night, guys doing it. But if you're going to go from the windup with a runner at third base, the last thing you do before you start, you should look at that runner.
Called a strike to the outside. 2-1.
Leake is not doing it. You don't see many guys go from the windup with a guy at third base anyway. Well, this was the swing of the bat from Valencia in the second inning. Had a pitch above the belt away, but to his credit, he just goes to the location, just slashes it down the line, and he would score.
Valencia's been a great RBI man since coming to Oakland. It's sharply but right to Crawford. And Leake gets out of the jam after the leadoff double by Burns. He is stranded. Tomlinson, Duffy, and Buster Posey coming up for the Giants.
Contest. We know the fans love this time of the game. It's sponsored by T-Mobile. Check it out. This family came strong, gentlemen, and it is Nathan's first game. You know the Giants dugout store loves that fam. What do you got? We want to see. Tweet us your photo at #CSNBA Data Strong Fan. We look forward to it. John and Mike.
All right, thanks, Amy. Kelby Tomlinson leads off for the Giants against Sonny Gray, and the count is 0-1. Tomlinson hit into a force play in the first inning, and it was really an excellent play by Mark Canha. And the ball was hit right along that first. It was very similar to the one that was a double for Valencia in the second inning. It's just that Canha had been holding on the bag, so he was very close to the foul line. Turned it into a force play, but then Duffy hit a 2-run homer right after. There's Canha. 0-2 the count to Tomlinson, who hit a comebacker his last time, so he's 0 for 2 in the game. Dodgers were beaten by Colorado 7-4. David Hale got the win over Mike Bolsinger. The Rockies hit 3 home runs in the same inning in that game. Dickerson, Blackman, and Carlos Gonzalez all went deep. Chased a bad one. He says he foul tipped it, but apparently it was caught by the catcher, and Bruce Bochy's coming out.
See if it changes direction here.
Well, it looked to me like Johnson signaled foul ball.
Well, it definitely hit the dirt before it got to the catcher, too.
I mean, if he signaled foul ball, then Tomlinson should still be up.
Not enough there to challenge.
And Adrian Johnson is screaming at somebody in the Giants dugout.
Yeah, it looks like he caught a piece of it there. I don't doubt it. I mean, Tomlinson said he got it. I believe that. And his reaction was such that he's feeling like he had that bat taken out of his hands.
And that one in there for a called strike. Well, to watch the umpire on this one. Tomlinson says something to him. Look at that. He said it was a foul ball. And Duffy thrown out by Sogard. And that is out number 2.
Well, kind of an odd play. I mean, if the question was whether or not it hit the dirt before it got to the catcher, if he signaled foul ball, then he should still be hitting.
Well, and he did signal. We just saw it. Now maybe he gave the signal in error. I don't know. It would be interesting to see what he was saying about it. The ball clearly bounced into the glove. Buster Posey, base hit to right. Buster's second straight hit. Keeps the inning going for Brandon Crawford.
Now batting, number 35, Brandon Crawford.
Crawford flied out to right center and then grounded into a double play his last time. So he is 0 for 2. Giants are trailing 3-2 here in the 6th inning. This interleague series between the Giants and the A's has really turned into a feast for whichever team is home. Giants swept the A's in San Francisco back in late July. That's a foul ball. Strike one to Brandon Crawford. The Giants have won 16 of their last 19 against the A's in San Francisco, but here at the Coliseum, the A's have won 11 of the last 13 games. So this Oakland team, though, is having a very bad year. 64 wins, 89 losses, 25 games under 500. And part of their problem has been the inability to win here. A ball and a strike. Although wherever Sonny Gray pitches, the A's tend to do very well, whether it's here or on the road. He's been one of the best in the American League. Team that's 25 game under 500, and he is 13-7, his personal record. That is called strike two.
Well, that's one of his big weapons. He's got one of the best curveballs in all of baseball. And not only is it a straight down biter, he can locate it both sides of the plate.
Left center field, hit well, still going, off the wall. The carom. Buster is going to be held. Crawford with a double off that double height wall in left center field. And the carom played by Billy Burns, and he hurried it back. And that kept Buster Posey from trying to score.
Now, Billy Burns does not have a very good arm, but Marcus Semien does. Semien becomes a cutoff man as it hits the wall. Burns gets to the cutoff man, and that's what you have to do. With Semien, you can send him out in a deep set to make up for some of that lack of arm speed from Burns. And that's the reason why Roberto Kelly holds up Buster Posey. And right there, he has to drop anchor, and that's about the time that Semien got the ball in his hands.
Now Marlon Byrd, who has struck out and grounded out. Runners at second and third, 2 down. And a foul out of play off to the right. Byrd has been an excellent RBI man for the Giants. 31 games played before tonight, 26 runs batted in.
Well, he's been big in these situations here where he's had runners in score position, 2 outs.
Byrd is hitting .410 for the year as a Giant with runners in scoring position. Off the outside, he's hitting .450 with 2 down and runners in scoring position, which is what you were just talking about, Mike.
Yeah, he's been one of the best in the league. Since he's put on a Giants uniform, you set this situation up for him, and it just, he toughens up.
Posey, the possible tying run at third. Crawford, the possible go-ahead run at second. 2 down. Another foul out of play.
Away, away, away. Four-seam fastball, cut, four-seam fastball.
Sonny Gray for the 1-ball, 2-strike count against Marlon Byrd. Jared Parker, the rookie, is on deck. Two and two.
So he tried a little sneak attack on that inside corner with a two-seam fastball, just a little bit down. If you're going to miss with it in the 1-2 count, that's where you want to miss.
And he struck him out. Vogt throws him out. And those runners are stranded. Leap back to the mound.
Is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
From the Oakland Coliseum, the Athletics have a 3-2 lead over the Giants, and there's an Oakland fan and a Giants fan side by side. Three infielders to the right of second for Stephen Vogt, who won the Catfish Hunter Award before the game tonight.
Second year in a row he's won it.
So he's obviously a great teammate, because like the Willie Mack Award with the Giants, the teammates, the people in the clubhouse with him, are among the voters. Pop up going back to about the 37-yard line, caught by Deasa, who called off Brandon Crawford. Well, the final regular season home series will start next Friday, a week from tonight, with the Rockies in town. That'll be Orange Friday at 7:15. Saturday the 3rd, a 1:05 start. And, of course, Sunday the 4th, Fan Appreciation Day, a special 12:05 start. Don't forget about the special time. The games all around baseball will all start at the same time on that final day. Still tickets available for the Giants and the Rockies. That one is hit well. Still going. It is gone. Billy Butler with an opposite field home run. Four to 2 Oakland. The second Athletics home run of the game.
Well, Butler, who'd been struggling pulling off the ball prior to this series, does not pull off this one. That's a fastball in the outside corner, and he has a strong front shoulder. And watch him get cocked in the backside throw, and just backspins it right over the wall in right field. That's a strong man swing.
Second home run for the A's tonight. Sogard, who hit a triple his last time, and it's ball one. Called a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giants get the bullpen going again. Going down the line after this one is Duffy, but he can't catch up to it. And you see that Oakland's got some bullpen activity going. There is Ryan Dull. The Giants have Jeremy Affeldt, a left-hander, up in their bullpen. This is the last of the 6th inning. It's now 4-2 Oakland. Charged by Tomlinson, got the high hop, and that is the second out of the inning. Sogard is gone. Sonny Gray up to 86 pitches through 6 innings. Of course, Oakland has not been in the pennant race for a good long while here in 2015. So they may figure, hey, less is more with Sonny Gray.
He's had some stiff back problems too this month, so I think they're handling him with kid gloves.
Simeon, first ball swinging. Deasa's got it to end the inning. Jared Parker will be coming up at the 7th. The Giants are down 4-2. Dwayne Kuiper returns from the radio booth.
And let's take a look at tonight's line score for the Giants. 2 runs on 5 hits. No errors. The Athletics 4 runs on 6 hits. Sonny Gray outstanding. Just a couple runs allowed, and that came on a 2-run homer by Matt Duffy in the first inning. Billy Burns, a 2-run shot for the A's in the 3rd. That gave them back the lead, and they have not given it back. Right now, when it's time for change, the Xpedia Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change soon with Smog experts. Ryan Dole, the new pitcher now for the A's. Dole called up September 1st. Between his year in AA and AAA, he had an outstanding season. 61 innings pitched. He had 73 strikeouts against just 16 walks. He's a good arm. You'll see low 90s fastball, hard slider, and a changeup. So we go to the top of the 7th. 4-2 A's. Here again, Dwayne Kuiper.
All right, Mike. So Dole facing Parker. Parker's probably no stranger to Dole, or Dole to Parker. Parker tonight is 0 for 2, struck out twice. And wraps this one off his foot. 1 ball and 1 strike. Parker's strikeout in the 5th was one that did not make Bruce Bochy very happy. It was a high strike, or at least it was a strike called by Adrian Johnson. So it's the 3 guys that played in the minor leagues this year coming up: Parker, Williamson, and Brown. The pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball. Billy Hayes does the smart thing. It's called the Ole.
Yeah, if you have to bend down too far, it ain't worth it.
It was Ole. It just played off to the side. One and 2. The pitch. High, 2 and 2.
There you see the defense the A's put on. A little bit of a play to pull on the right side of the infield. Straight away in the outfield, though, and deep. They know Parker's got power.
Well, he's worked it to a 3-2 count. John Doolittle doing the karaoke. I did that in high school football, and I spiked myself, and I think I missed the game.
I never really understood why you did it in spring training.
The pitch to Parker. Foul out of play.
But I guess if I was a manager, I'd have 40 guys trying to do it too at the same time. It'd be entertaining. Spring training, when you break into the karaoke there, you look like the Rockettes doing a choreographed dance.
Yeah, like the Rockettes A-ball team, my dad. Not the varsity.
Yeah, that's true.
Parker, high drive. Hit a mile. It is out of here. Upper deck. I'm speechless.
Well, we don't come here enough to know if it ever happens a lot, but I can't recall it happening. I mean, a 2-strike count, he just takes on the deep part of the yard and goes upper deck. That is awesome.
And Williamson is going to try to duplicate that. It's back to a 1-run game.
Not much of a stride, just a little toe tap, and he just unloads. Yeah, he breaks into the trot early. Why would you?
Williamson goes around.
Bill Miller, the crew chief, making the call at first base.
They're going to call it 4:54.
I don't know about that. It's 400 to straightaway center, and that thing was at least.
There's a line drive to left field, a base hit. And Williamson is aboard.
Another bullet.
So shall I play the role of John Miller?
Yeah.
All right. So Mike, is it where it lands, or is it where it would have landed if the seats weren't there?
He has actually asked that about 100 times. We never really know how to answer that. But I don't know. 451.
I got to go at least 4:55. So here's Trevor Braun, and it's not going to be Trevor Braun. It's going to be Angel Pagan. So Pagan is pinch hitting for Braun.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Batting for Trevor Braun, number 16, Angel Pagan.
So here's Pagan. Pagan with a 267 average. And he takes low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, there's nobody in that A's bullpen. So Ryan Dole, I mean, he's the guy. He just took a look down at the bullpen. I mean, those are things you look for if you're a pitching coach and a manager. If that guy out there in the mound starts looking at the bullpen, he's looking for help. It's one thing you train yourself not to do. If you're on that mound, you do not want to get a reputation as a guy who's looking over your shoulder.
Popped him up. So it'll be Simeon who makes the catch. Pagan's gone. And that'll bring up Diaza.
Now, Diaza was not happy with his at-bat his last at-bat in the 5th where he struck out. Yeah, but at bat like he did, it tends to weigh on your mind a bit. So this ought to be an interesting at bat.
Walked in the 1st, bounced out in the 3rd, and then the at bat Mike's talking about. A check swing strikeout in the 5th.
There was the check swing and his reaction. Painful. And he's had to sit on that for a couple of innings now. Throw over called by the bench.
There's that high strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Williamson at first. On the ground, slowly hit. That's 1. That's 2. Williamson did something that you can't do, and that's run into a double play. Here's the home run by Parker. It's bye-bye baby. It's 4-3 A's. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Jeremy Affeldt, the new pitcher now for the Giants, 48th game or 49th game he's come into. 2-2 with a 5.13 ERA. Really has been whittling away at his ERA. At one point in the season, it was in the sixes. As he has got his legs back, he's had a couple of physical ailments he's had to work through this year. Spent some time in the DL. Low 90 sinker, big curveball, and a split.
And he's facing Sam Fuld. And a curveball for a strike. That's the pitch that could keep Affeldt around for a while. Now, whether he wants to do that or not, it's another story. I really think that if he wanted to be a situational lefty, he could do that. Williams is now behind the plate. Base hit. So Fuld's been a pest. Burns has been a pest. Sogard's been a pest.
Center fielder, number 1, Billy Burns.
Yusmeiro Petit up for a second time. Won't take him long to get ready. Well, I agree with you in regards to Affeldt. Plus, the other thing he could do, I mean, he can start dropping down.
Yeah, he could do a lot of different things. So here's Burns. Fouls this one out of play.
But with Affeldt, I mean, he's got the two things that are so unusual for a left-hander. Number one, he can get a ground ball guy. He can get ground balls from right-handed hitters. He gets a lot of double plays. And with that big curveball and the split combination, he can get strikeouts.
And a good fastball for a strike. We are in the home half of the 7th inning. A game by September standards is breezing along. Parker going back. Going back to tag is Fuld. And he's going to make it. And Williams is in the general area. So Burns is retired.
Well, Fold sees that there's enough depth on that fly ball where he's going to have a chance to go. Gets back, go. So turns out to be a productive out because of the speed and the heads-up play of Fold.
So here's Canna. Canna's popped out twice. And then he's bounced out. Got to be careful now with Fuld. He might have thoughts of stealing third. Again, we'll keep an eye on Sam Fuld.
Well, they have to protect against him. Affeldt can be very deliberate on the mound. He has to pay attention. He has to vary his head looks to second base. He has to be concerned about the rhythm of Fuld at second base. It's a big 90 feet.
Tight. Half-L ready. It's 1-0. Good curveball.
You bet it is. I mean, that's just like 2 pitches in one. Off-speed pitch and a breaking ball. And Canna, I mean, he was not looking off-speed stuff there. That front foot dropped like he was sitting on a fastball.
Out of play, so it's 1-2. A 1-run lead now for the A's is Petit. Is still getting loose. He's ready to go, I'm quite sure.
He's thinking about Danny Valencia.
The bravery of Kelby Tomlinson to put a pickoff play on with that felt.
Well, how many pickoff plays did you put on as a second baseman in September?
Well, I would put maybe a few on, but not with that felt. Effel would like to underhand that throw to second.
If you watch his game, I mean, comebackers to Affield, I mean, he'll run it halfway to first base and underhand it. He doesn't like to make that throw. Plus, the other thing, too, with Affield is when he decides to throw to a base, he's not going to throw you a changeup.
No.
It's going to be his best bolt.
He is a one-speed guy. Diaza will put it away. 2 outs. And I got underneath that one just a little bit.
Now batting right fielder, 22, Josh Reddick.
So here's Reddick. Reddick is 0 for 3. Down low. Ball, there it is again, and he gets the strike.
It just caved his shoulder in. So you talk about a weapon. Nobody's going to look for that big curveball in a 1-0 count. There's no way.
And he threw it again. And now FL ahead in the count.
Well, this is where he came up with that third pitch, the split finger fastball. A big curveball is a great pitch, but the more you see it as a hitter, the more likely you are to hit it. And it gives him another strikeout pitch after he's shown a guy a couple of curveballs.
Little flare into center field. That's going to be a base hit. And Reddick comes through with an RBI single. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. We'll be back.
matchup. Tim Hudson going up against Barry Zito. The former teammates are longtime friends. Sat down for a press conference this afternoon. Here's a snippet at it.
I don't know that I could have written a better ending to this story, and to be able to have Barry in the other dugout taking the mound against me, it's very surreal. I mean, it's a storybook kind of thing.
I'm looking at scouting reports I've never looked at. Buster Posey, that guy can hit. I mean, scouting report says so. I've never looked at a scouting report before.
So, thanks, Amy. Good look at those two today. Their press conference right around 5 o'clock before the ball game. Here's Petit facing Valencia, and there's a strike. Hudson said that he thought maybe he'd ask Boch if he and Melvin could get together and just let the pitchers hit tomorrow. They'd have a little contest between he and Zito.
I'm in. Why not? Let's do the whole thing.
I know. Yeah, 12:30 Giants pregame live tomorrow. I know one thing.
What's that?
Hudson didn't have a hit off of Verlander. Well, I don't know, but I'm guessing.
Barry Zito does in a World Series game, no less.
'12 opener, Tigers, Giants. See the numbers for Petit.
40th game that he has been in, 1-1 with a 3.72 ERA. Good strikeout to walk ratio. With Petit, high 80s. Fastball with cut, sink. Tight little slider to change up.
And a strike.
And he'll do that a lot. He will shave the corners. He can absolutely throw darts with that fastball slider combination. Well, it should be fun tomorrow to see those guys go out there. They've enjoyed it. All the pregame hype.
Reddick goes, and this is hit well to left, but not well enough. And that's going to end the inning. This place is playing a little small tonight.
Yes, it is.
A's pick up a run. It's back to a 2-run lead. Most stolen bases since the All-Star break in the majors. Giants with 51, then the Rockies, Royals, D-backs, and Marlins. Did not know that.
I didn't either.
You probably did.
No. If you told me that, I'd have bet against it.
Tomlinson to face Ryan Dole. So right spot in this lineup for the Giants. They got Tomlinson, Duffy, and then Posey. And you got some more big fellas coming up after that. Tomlinson is 0 for 3. Voloson getting loose.
Sean Doolittle getting loose.
Tapped foul by Tomlinson. Giants need a base runner or two. And they will get one here off the bat of Tomlinson.
Well, Wednesday, September 30th is Full Clubhouse Night, a tribute to Full House. Your special event package will include a collector's edition Giants Full Clubhouse snow globe featuring the famous painted ladies near Alamo Square and a ticket to the Dodger game. Or the Dodgers taking on the Giants at the Giants game. However you want to look at it. You want tickets? Go to sfgiants.com/special event.
So here's Duffy. Duffy tonight, homered. He's flied out. He's bounced out. Buster Posey to follow. Hits are even at 8. So Dole throws on the ground towards the hole. Simeon will get the out there, and that's it. So fielder's choice, and here's Buster Posey.
Well, one thing Dole's been able to do when he's got a bit of a jam is get a ground ball.
Yep.
Now batting, number 28, Buster Posey.
Buster tonight is 2 for 3. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
Perfect location with that breaking ball in the outside corner. But it's knowledge for Posey. He doesn't have a database on Ryan Dole.
Duffy's got 11 steals. It's not likely he's going to go here. Not unless he absolutely is sure that he can make it. Posey gets underneath this one to left. 2 down.
Kind of jumped at it. He knew it as soon as it left the bat.
So here comes Bob Melvin. It's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. We'll be back.
1 o'clock game, pregame live at 12:30 right here on CSN Bay Area. It's going to be Tim Hudson on the hill taking on Barry Zito. Plus, you get pre and post coverage, and Giants insider Alex Pavlovich always going to clue you into more information right here on CSNBayArea.com. The home of the authentic Giants fan is CSN. New pitcher now for the A's will be their closer. It's going to be Sean Doolittle. And for Bob Melvin, this is probably going to be an opportunity for a 4-out save. 1-0 with a 4.66 ERA since he has gotten healthy. He's done well. 11 strikeouts in 9 2/3. Low to mid-90s fastball, curveball, changeup.
And a strike. Crawford doubled in the 6th inning. Overshift is on for Crawford. Simeon to the right is second. Back easily is Duffy.
He gave the thumb twirl, which means so to first base. That itself was interesting. Javier Lopez.
On the ground and a base hit. So Duffy will stop at second. So the Doolittle walk in, and the Giants fan,
she was not into it.
It's called ignore. Ignore.
It's kind of hard to do when you're out in right field because that whole section gets into it. She is, hey, gamer babe.
Yeah, absolutely.
What can I tell you?
So here's Bird. So Doolittle, the lefty, will face Bird, the righty. And a strike, and it's 0-1. Crawford now a couple of hits tonight. Giants had 2 games taken away from them late in San Diego, so they're going to try to turn the tables and see if they can do it to the A's. A hit here would do wonders. Foul back.
Giants have had opportunities at 2 outs, have not been able to cash in, and it's the more you fail within a ball game in that situation, it just seems the tougher it is to come through when you get another chance late. And now Bird in an 0-2 hole. All fastballs so far from Doolittle.
Up the middle and a base hit. Duffy scores. It's 5-4.
And that's a money hit. That's the one they've been looking for.
And now Parker's going to hit. Parker hit a home run into the upper deck in center field, if you just joined us.
Now this off of Ryan Dole. Upper deck. I mean, it impressed us. We heard guys in the truck who work a lot of A's games say it happens about 8 to 10 times a year, but that's the first time we'd seen it. It was impressive. Over 450 feet.
One ball and no strikes.
The A's do not have great arms in left field or in center field. They have a great arm in right field. Crawford has better than average speed at second when his legs are right.
Yep.
And right now he's running about average, I guess. Maybe a bit below what he normally does.
So Parker in a spot now where he can sit on a fastball. And he got one.
I like that.
Probably in a perfect world, he'd like it a little lower. But the last we checked, pitchers don't exactly ask you where you want it. Two and two.
Doolittle not backing down. I mean, it's just been one fastball after another. I've not seen the breaking ball. I've not seen the changeup.
So it's come to this. It's 3-2. Crawford now will have the edge in trying to score on a hit because he'll be on the move. Ball in the gap would give Bird a shot to score. Three and two. He walked him.
Nice at bat.
Curtis Young is coming out.
This meeting on the mound brought to you by Ring Central. Business communications made simple. And I think more than anything else, it's just given Doolittle a bit of a breather. We'll talk about the scouting report, what they know about Williamson, but Doolittle hadn't thrown anything but fastballs since he's gone out there. Now, he's got 3 pitches.
Number 31, Mac Williamson.
And one thing Mac Williamson can do, I mean, he can hit a fastball. You don't get here if you can't hit a fastball.
Well, he's going to get a shot here. Bases are loaded. And Doolittle is ready to go. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
So 1 to measure, 1 to rake.
Foul back.
And he just bored in on his hands.
His first major league hit in the 5th inning.
It was loud.
Foul back.
It's just been grip and rip for Doolittle. I mean, he is country hardballing. That's the one that's tough to lay off of.
And it took every ounce of strength that Williamson has got to hold up. Crawford, Bird, and Parker are your base runners. This could end the inning. And it does. By 4-8.
It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, stay tuned after Giants baseball for Esurance Giants postgame live highlights, reaction, analysis. It's all coming up after the game. So here's Petit to Stephen Vogt. And it's low, 1 ball and no strikes. Vogt is popped out twice and he's flied out. Butler on deck. Butler's home run is the difference in the. Well, no, it's not. Reddick's base hit now is the difference in the game. Shift is on now with the count 3-0 and takes a strike.
One thing you don't often worry about with Petit, that's throwing strikes. Set the target away.
Hit into left center field, but Parker got a decent jump. The value of Petit was never more evident than that 18-inning game against the Nationals in postseason last year. If you don't have a guy like that, you probably don't get to the 18. Or you use up everybody, and now the rest of the series you're shot bullpen-wise. Or you got to use a starter. That's the value of a Petit. Butler takes a strike.
Well, he put 6 shutout innings, and under the most incredible pressure that you can imagine. You're on the road. It's a tie score. It's a walk-off situation, and he turned it back. 6 innings he was out there. Giants relief pitching had to pitch 10 of those innings. Yeah. And they did.
And if Belt doesn't hit the home run, I mean, it likely we still may be playing.
Yeah, we're still playing. Good pitch. A little inside. But I like the comment you said about that game. There were 2 quality starts in that game. And one of them came from this gentleman right here.
Remember, did Hudson start that game?
I think he did.
Who will start tomorrow, by the way? Oh, flare foul down the right field line and out of play. Butler, just for the fun of thinking about Game 7 of the World Series, made the second out of the 9th inning when he popped out to Brandon Belt.
Well, he was happy that day.
Oh, was he ever? Things got a little weird after the pop-up.
Yeah, just for drama. Had to have a little drama. What's the 7th game of a World Series without a little drama?
Little.
Paint. Absolute paint.
What we're talking about.
Game 2 in the NLDS. Giants would win that ball game by a score of 2-1 in 18. It's a small capsule of just how good Petit was, and he didn't make mistakes out over the middle. He just didn't. He was on the corners all night long. He said when the season was over, he watched the whole thing pitch by pitch with his family back home. He said it was the greatest thing I ever watched on TV.
Allowed 1 hit. He had as good a stuff that night as he did when he almost threw the perfect game.
Came within 1 out of a perfect game against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Eric Chavez broke it up with a 2-out single in the 9th. And you're right.
So Sogard, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Sogard has been feisty today. A triple back in the 4th inning, almost knocked it out of here.
So it's 1-2 to Sogard. Blocked by Jackson Williams, who's now behind the dish. Williams, by the way, will lead off the 9th inning, so we'll see if Bruce Bochy chooses to go to the bench. Hit up the middle and a base hit.
Look at it. Sogard, feisty. Going right back up the middle. And that was not that far away from Petit's head.
So here's Simeon.
Marcus Simeon.
And a quick toss, and Sogard is back. Just outside, maybe low.
Maybe both. Sogard kind of a base stealer like Matt Duffy. I mean, he doesn't steal a lot, but when he goes, he usually makes it. He's got 6 on the year. He's been thrown out once.
Tomlinson, look out with Williamson coming in. Tomlinson makes the catch. So we'll go to the 9th. We'll see who will lead things off. Then it'll be Diaza, Tomlinson, and maybe more.
Honda, and we think that guy tonight, well, it should be Jared Parker. Why not? He just thrilled everybody that roots for the orange and black when he hit his 3rd home run of the year, an upper deck shot to center field. A 1-for-3 night, and that lit everybody up, and that makes him our player of the game. Brought to you by Honda.
So Kevin Franzen is going to lead things off. He will pinch hit for Jackson Williams. Franzen, then Diaza, and then Tomlinson, and then the Giants hoping that Duffy, Posey, and Crawford get a shot. There's a swing and a foul, and it's 0-1.
Well, Franzen knows Doolittle, and he knows he's going to see fastballs, and he was up there thinking on middle end, something hard. And he'll look for it again.
Almost hit him. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The fastball that he features, Doolittle, it's got natural cut, and it is one that can really get up the bat of a right-handed hitter.
Franzen into right center field, and this is going to be run down by Reddick for out number 1. So 1 out, and here's Diaza.
Now batting, Alejandro Diaza.
Diaza 0 for 3. One and 0. Nice at bat by Franzen. Hit the ball hard.
Yeah. Almost got the gap in right center.
There's a strike.
Well, it's pretty easy to look up at the board and see how many pitches Doolittle has thrown. You'll know how many fastballs he's thrown. 24 pitches, 24 fastballs. Grip it and rip it.
Fouled at home plate, so Piazza stays alive. This is Mariano Rivera like. Not necessarily the stuff, but what you really know what's coming. And what can you do with it?
It's rare. It really is rare. You can see a guy sitting on one pitch and riding it as hard as Doolittle is. But it's a good fastball. I mean, you only need to see this outing to know that. Fastball away. The bullpen for the A's?
Non-existent.
Very quiet.
Three-two pitch. Foul back.
Piazza putting up a fight.
Pitch number 31 for Doolittle. Vote over by the seats. This one he can't reach. And it remains 3-2. You had a pop up here, and you keep your fingers crossed if you're a hitter.
You're right. Biggest foul territory in baseball.
Back. This will be the 11th pitch in this at bat. Got him.
Piazza absolutely livid with plate umpire Adrian Johnson. But this one was down and away. But the persistence of Doolittle prevails. Step in the outside corner. And that's a pitcher strike.
Number 37, Kelby Tomlinson.
So here's Tomlinson. Tomlinson is 1 for 4. So Tomlinson maybe trying to tie it up with one swing, and he falls behind. No balls and one strike.
reluctantly, the A's get some activity in their pen. It's right-hander Fernando Rodriguez. The only reason he's up is the pitch count. Is at 36. 36 pitches, 36 fastballs.
Ball back. One and two to Tomlinson. He got him, and that's the ball game. So game one in the series goes to the Oakland A's as they snap a 5-game losing streak, and the Giants have lost now their 3rd straight on this road trip.
Well, another 5-4 loss. This has been kind of a theme here the last 3 days. And a tough win tonight simply because they had opportunity. They could not come up with the money in early in the game.
So final score, A's 5, Giants 4. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live. That's going to start after these messages.